Hey guys, welcome to a tack up and ride with me. So I asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted to see a GoPro version of this video or just a regular one, and most people said GoPro, so I decided to go with that. And then I'll probably do a regular one in the next couple of weeks. Today I'm jumping my 12-year-old 14 3-hand high Appaloosa mare. I've been riding her for about 5 years, but I've only owned her for 2, but maybe 3. I really can't remember, honestly. I've been riding her for a while though. And in the background you see my 4-year-old off the track thoroughbred mare, and I actually jumped her also on this day, so if you want to see the footage from that ride, it was my most recent video I posted. I've been tacking outside a lot recently because it's so nice out and I just want to soak up as much of the spring sun as I can. And I also gave Tulip a little bit of grain when I brought her in today, because normally I ride in the afternoons and I feed her then when I ride her, but it was actually the morning this day just because that's the way my schedule worked this day. So I just gave her a little bit of grain, but she got her full meal later. I also asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted me to do a voiceover for this or if you wanted me to just play music, and most people wanted me to do a voiceover or a mix of both. So I'm really gonna try to not talk that much, but it's hard for me. I like to talk, so I might not be able to shut up for this video. I'm gonna try though, I promise. So now I'm just taking her blanket off and then I'm gonna groom her. I find it so hard to do that front clip when their head's down. I always struggle with that. Anyways, both my horses are just in really light rain sheets right now because, like I said, it's spring, so it's getting a bit warmer, but the nights still get pretty chilly. Also, Maeve has a new habit of eating my horse's tail off, so I don't like that very much. I use a jelly scrubber. I really like jelly scrubbers because they're really flexible. It's just curry comb literally, but I just like it because it's so flexible. And then I use them for bathing too. And I do her legs with them. I hate shedding season. I groom her every day, and yet it still feels like every day a bunch of fur comes out. It's not fair. I don't like white horses. Anyways, and then I use this shedding blade thing that my sister got me for Christmas a couple of years ago. It's called an Equa Groomer, I think. I could be wrong about that. I really like it actually. It's pretty good for shedding. It's just kind of sharp, so I've actually cut myself on it before, but I do find it works really well for shedding my white horses. So yes, I do this all over the body. Now enjoy some music so I don't talk this whole time. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my tack as I tack up. So that's just a random saddle pad that I got either off Facebook or for free or something, I don't know. And then this is a thin line half pad. I really like them because they really are good for absorbing shock, but they don't change the saddle fit at all because they're literally the thinnest thing in the entire world, which is amazing because my saddles fit my horses pretty well, so I don't need to change the saddle fit. And then I'm taking off this 3-point breastplate because I read an article about how it can hinder your horse's jump, especially in their shoulders. So I thought I'd give it a try. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I thought I'd just see what happens. And then my saddle is a Santa Cruz saddle. The reason I got one was because I had ridden in a lot of Santa Cruz saddles when I was riding in other people's jump saddles, and I started to really like them because they're relatively cheap to buy new. They're like $2,000 new. And I found some on Facebook for really cheap, and then this one, the saddle that I own now, has, I don't know what this purple thing is, I don't know how it got there. Anyways, the saddle that I bought has a bit of leather damage, but overall it's in really good shape, and it's so comfortable, and just I really like the way it fits me and my horses, so that's why I got that saddle. And then, as you can see, I have Millbrook leathers on my saddle. I love these things. They're beautiful, and they also really help my lower leg. So I'll put my discount code on the screen for you right now. I honestly couldn't recommend these more. They're amazing. And a couple of my friends got them, and they were just so happy with them too because they're just amazing. So next I just put on my boots. So these are just really cheap, like $40 paddock boots. Of course I show in tall boots, but I just like to wear paddock boots for schooling. And then I put on my half chaps. So I use Pro Chaps. They're amazing half chaps. They make my leg look so good, and they also really help with my lower leg because that's one of my weakest areas as a rider. And right now I have a crazy 50% off discount code that is only available until April 30th. So go use that to get an awesome sale on amazing half chaps. And then here I'm just putting her boots on her, which I got for, I don't know, 10 bucks on Facebook. So that's great. Always looking for a good deal. They're maybe a little big for Tulip, but they, they support her and they work. So yeah, I usually only school in front boots because today we jumped quite small. We didn't really jump very high, so I didn't really feel the need to put on fetlock boots, but sometimes I do. I don't know, whatever mood I'm feeling. And then I pick out her hooves. I usually do this after I tack up because then I can like stretch out her legs, as you'll see, and then that like makes sure that the girth isn't pinching her. So I just do that after. Just killed two birds with one stone. As you can see, she is entirely barefoot, but sometimes during the show season, if I know we're going to be showing in places with bad footing, I do put shoes on her, but she has pretty solid feet, so I keep her barefoot mostly. So the bridle I use is a figure 8 bridle. Figure 8 bridles help with the horse properly using their jaw and turning properly. And so I really like this because we're working on that a lot in our dressage work, but sometimes when she's a bit excited when we're jumping, she kind of forgets that. So I like the figure 8 bridle, but I would like to eventually move her out of it. The piece around her mouth is always quite loose because I don't really agree with like flashes and stuff like that. So I'd really like to give her the option to open her mouth. I'm not wanting to pin her mouth shut. The bit I ride her in is a Myler level 2-3. I believe it's the MBO 6, but I could be wrong. And it has the like leverage hooks on the side, but I don't have my reins on the leverage hooks because she doesn't really need leverage. She's usually quite sensible. And the bit is quite a kind bit. I really like the shape of it. It offers a lot of tongue relief and I just really like it. So I'm going to buy another one probably that's dressage legal so I can use it with our dressage work, which would be really exciting. So my warm-up is quite similar to what you would have seen if you would watch my last video, but I start doing shoulder in on a 15-meter circle and continuously changing the bend to get her to move her spine and really relax her body. I find this works really well. I just really love doing this. My dressage coach taught me. And then I transition into doing an outside bend and asking her to bring her shoulder towards the inside. And this counterbend exercise works really well. I really like it. I do a lot more walk work, but I thought you'd be bored with that, so I went into trot. With the trot, I usually start going on either a 15 or 20 meter circle and asking her to change the bend because again, it's really good for her to have to like move her spine around and really think about where she's going. And I do some shoulder in at the trot, which I didn't do a very good job of showing you. And I just really want her to be supple and listening to me and responsive and just warm her muscles up. And then I move into the canter. So recently I've been doing this exercise with her to help her loosen up because sometimes she can get a bit tense. So I do a like 20-meter collected canter-ish, and then I ask her to really give her on the long side and just really extend her body and loosen up. We look a little bit crazy, but I find it's really good for her just to like loosen her body and engage her hind end. And then I bring her back to the canter on the short side and do a shorter canter. And when we go into this big extended canter, I try to lift my hands so she's not just like galloping flat and awkward, but she's actually like lifting her shoulder and galloping like through her body, like not actually galloping, but extending her canter. And then I give her a bit of a walking break before we transition into our jumping warm-up. So I had a tiny oxer, it's quite small, set up, and normally my exercises I just trot in once and then do a circle and canter in. And then I give her a break and then switch reins, trot in on the other rein, and then canter, circle, and then canter over the same jump. I like this just because it helps her settle in and gives her a chance to relax. And then here I had this kind of cool exercise setup that I really liked doing today. I really liked the way she felt over this. It was really cool. It's not super big, and since I was the only one here this day, I couldn't ask anyone to make any of the jumps higher, so I just kind of settled for the height they were at. At one point I got up to make a couple of them higher, but it's a lot of work switching jumps by yourself. And then I also had this really nice bounce exercise set up. I liked it because it kind of got her listening and coming back on her hind end when she was getting a bit flat. And she was jumping pretty well this day, actually. Sometimes she did feel a bit flat, but overall her jump shape has been really, really improving with some exercises we've been doing. This is the first day in a while we've done any sort of like coursework. It's not actually coursework, but not really like lines or grids. Normally we do a lot of grids because I'm trying to help her improve her shape over fences, which has really worked. Okay, I'm gonna let you watch now, so enjoy the rest of our ride. So after I find a good spot to leave it at, I trot her out, and I ask her to go long and low. She, for a while, really couldn't stretch down. It was really difficult for her, so I'm happy that she's really able to stretch down at the walk and trot, and then she's developing that at the canter too. It's a really good thing for her. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the GoPro style. One thing I learned from it is that I definitely put the camera at too high of an angle. It's been a while since I used my GoPro. My GoPro is literally ancient. So next time I'll put it like a bit lower, because then you can see like my hands a bit more and what I'm doing. I think that would help. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more from me, subscribe and turn on post notifications so you get a notification every time I upload. Otherwise, I hope you all are staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!